Your belly fat isn't stubborn because you're lazy, it's stubborn because nobody ever explained how it actually works. You already walk, you already eat better, you might already hit the gym a few times weekly, but your stomach still won't change. And today, I'm finally going to explain exactly why that keeps happening. There are two simple walking techniques that can completely transform your results without adding extra workout time. The first technique changes when you walk during your day, and that timing matters more than you think. The second technique changes how you walk, using a Japanese method that turns walking into real training. No running required, no sprinting, no collapsing on the sidewalk gasping for air afterward. Just smarter movement, structured properly, so your body responds completely differently than before. But before any of that works, you need to understand something almost nobody explains correctly. Not all belly fat sitting on your body is actually the same type of fat. Pinch your stomach right now. Grab that soft layer sitting just beneath your skin. That's subcutaneous fat, the fat resting directly under your skin that you can physically touch. But underneath that visible layer hides another type of fat you cannot simply grab. That deeper fat is called visceral fat, and it surrounds your internal organs completely. Visceral fat sits deeper inside your abdominal cavity, wrapped tightly around vital organs. Both types matter for your health, but visceral fat carries more serious health risks. Higher visceral fat levels are strongly associated with increased cardiometabolic health complications over time. Picture your body like it has both a refrigerator and a separate deep freezer. Visceral fat behaves like food sitting in the fridge, easier to access quickly. It's more metabolically active, meaning your body can mobilize it relatively easily during activity. Subcutaneous fat, especially stubborn belly fat, behaves more like food buried inside the freezer. It takes longer to noticeably shrink, even as your overall body fat percentage drops. This explains why grabbing your stomach every single morning tells you almost nothing useful. Exercise combined with an energy deficit reduces abdominal fat gradually, but not on command. You cannot tell your body exactly which piece of fat to burn today. When you start walking, your muscles suddenly demand significantly more energy than before instantly. Where does that extra energy actually come from during your daily walking routine? Your body pulls from a mixture of fuels, mainly carbohydrates and stored body fat. And what happens inside your fat cells explains why timing your walks matters immensely. The moment your muscles start working, they immediately need more usable energy, called ATP. During lower intensity movement, like brisk walking, fat contributes a meaningful portion of that energy. But stored fat first has to physically leave the fat cell before burning. During exercise, hormones called catecholamines signal your fat cells to break down stored triglycerides. This entire process is scientifically called lipolysis, essentially opening a stored fuel tank completely. Fatty acids enter your bloodstream and your working muscles use them for energy. This is exactly where our refrigerator versus freezer analogy becomes incredibly useful again here. Visceral fat mobilizes relatively easily compared to certain stubborn subcutaneous fat deposits nearby. But here's what most fat loss videos completely get wrong about burning fat. Burning more fat during one single walk doesn't automatically mean losing more overall body fat. Your body constantly switches between fuel sources throughout your entire day, every single hour. What ultimately matters for losing stored body fat is your bigger overall picture, your total energy balance, your diet quality, your activity level, and your daily consistency.
So walking isn't magic, but it gives you something extremely valuable and totally underrated. A low-impact way to increase daily activity that most people can actually maintain. Now, let's make this incredibly practical, starting with one number you need to find. This technique doesn't begin with walking faster, and it definitely doesn't begin with fasting. It begins by opening your phone and finding your current daily step baseline. Open your health app right now, or check your smartwatch for recent step data. Look at your average daily steps over the past few weeks, honestly, without judgment. Maybe it's 4,000, maybe 6,000, maybe you're already above 10,000 steps. That number is officially your baseline, and here's the mistake you must avoid completely. If you currently walk 5,000 steps daily, don't suddenly force 15,000 tomorrow. There is no magical universal step count that works identically for absolutely every person. Instead, increase your movement gradually, moving from 5,000 toward 5,500 steps. Once that feels easy and sustainable, increase again slowly, building real, lasting momentum naturally. The goal is creating a new normal, not surviving a brutal 7-day punishment. Walking becomes incredibly useful here because you don't need another exhausting separate workout session. Extra steps can come from walking during phone calls or simply taking the stairs. Park farther away, add a short walk during your day. Small changes truly accumulate. The best step target isn't the highest number you survive for one single week. It's the amount of movement you can consistently maintain for several months straight, easily. Once you've built that solid foundation, we can make part of those steps strategic. This is where the first technique gets genuinely interesting, changing exactly when you walk. Tomorrow morning, before breakfast, try taking a walk using this specific simple approach. Imagine finishing dinner around 8 p.m., then sleeping peacefully through the entire night afterward. Wake up, drink water or black coffee if you normally tolerate caffeine well, then head outside for a 30 to 60-minute walk before eating anything else. Why might this feel noticeably different from walking immediately after finishing a full meal? After eating, insulin rises as your body actively processes incoming nutrients from food. After an overnight fast, insulin levels are generally much lower throughout your entire body. During fasted exercise, your body relies more heavily on fat as available fuel. Think of your day constantly shifting between two states, storing energy and mobilizing energy. A morning walk simply places physical activity inside one of those lower insulin periods. But here's an important distinction you absolutely need to understand before getting too excited. Fasted walking is not some magic shortcut that instantly melts away stubborn belly fat. Burning a higher fat percentage during one walk doesn't guarantee greater fat loss overall. If you consistently eat more energy than you burn, fasted walking won't override that. The real advantage is simplicity. Wake up, hydrate, walk, then continue your normal day. For many people, completing movement early makes overall daily consistency significantly easier to maintain. You don't need every single step crammed into your morning hours, though, honestly. Some incredibly useful walking opportunities actually happen later, right after you start eating meals. One short walk after eating provides a completely different, surprisingly powerful metabolic benefit entirely. That's the first of 4 small upgrades we're covering together right now, immediately. You don't need another exhausting hour of exercise, just smarter timing and better placement. The first upgrade is genuinely my favorite. Take a 10 to 15-minute walk.
Walk specifically after meals. And this isn't about magically burning the food you ate. Light activity after eating helps your muscles actively use circulating glucose from your bloodstream. This makes post-meal walking a simple, powerful tool for supporting healthy blood sugar. Second, change your walking terrain regularly instead of always using the same flat treadmill. Try a park, a gentle hill, grass, or another safe, slightly challenging outdoor surface. Changing incline and terrain alters physical demand, keeping your walks noticeably more engaging overall. Third, hide extra movement inside your completely normal daily routine without much extra effort. Take the stairs, park farther away, walk during phone calls. Try walking meetings occasionally. 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and by evening, those choices add up significantly. Fourth, track your steps using your phone, smartwatch, or even a simple pedometer device. Not because calorie burn estimates are perfectly accurate, because honestly, they really aren't. Track because seeing your steps turns something invisible into something completely measurable and motivating. You can create streaks, set personal challenges, compete with friends, making walking genuinely fun. But don't let the game become ridiculous. You don't need 40,000 daily steps. The real goal is consistency, not complete exhaustion. Remember that difference moving forward, always.
Now you might wonder, if walking works, why not just run instead for faster results? That's a great question, and the answer reveals a massive misunderstanding about fat burning. Running feels harder. You breathe faster, sweat more, and burn more calories per minute, so running must obviously be better for fat loss overall, right? Not necessarily true, actually. At lower intensities like brisk walking, your body relies on a higher fat percentage. As intensity increases toward running, your muscles increasingly rely on fast-burning carbohydrates instead. But here's the critical mistake people constantly make when comparing these two different activities. A higher fat-burning percentage during exercise doesn't automatically mean more total body fat lost. Running burns more total calories in less time. That part is technically completely true. But the real question isn't which activity burns the highest fat percentage possible today. Ask instead which activity you can consistently recover from and repeat week after week. Think of running like an exciting sports car, fast, powerful, thrilling, but demanding recovery. Walking is more like a reliable hybrid car, easy to use every single day. You can walk in the morning, after meals, during calls, and still have energy remaining. That's the real advantage. Walking isn't powerful because it beats running calorie for calorie. It's powerful because it's incredibly repeatable, and consistency over months matters far more ultimately. Walking also does something the bathroom scale can never accurately show you directly, honestly. It influences cardiovascular health, glucose control, your mood, and how you feel mentally overall. And those hidden benefits deserve serious attention before we move into the next technique. The benefits of walking extend far beyond simply counting the calories you actually burn. First, there's blood sugar control. Walking regularly helps your muscles absorb more circulating glucose. Regular physical activity also supports better insulin sensitivity throughout your entire body over time. Then there's your cardiovascular system. Your heart beats faster. Blood flow increases noticeably immediately. Repeated consistently, these simple walks become genuine training for your heart and circulation. But the benefits aren't purely physical. Walking also profoundly affects your mental clarity significantly. Ever notice a problem feels impossible sitting at your desk, then suddenly clearer walking? Movement improves mood and creates a genuine mental break from sitting, screens, and stress. That matters more during fat loss than most people ever honestly stop to consider. The best fat loss routine isn't the one burning the most calories theoretically possible. It's the one you're genuinely willing to repeat again tomorrow and the day after. This is where walking becomes incredibly powerful. No gym required, no complicated equipment needed. Just put on your shoes and go. It's really that refreshingly simple, honestly speaking. Now, let's take everything you already like about walking and add one small twist. Instead of maintaining the same pace for 30 minutes, we'll speed up and slow repeatedly. This method was studied by researchers in Japan, transforming ordinary walks into interval training. Welcome to technique number 2, officially called Japanese interval walking. Surprisingly simple yet effective. Instead of walking at one comfortable pace, you'll alternate between brisk and easier walking. Here's exactly how to do it, starting with a gentle 5-minute warm-up. Then increase your pace for about 3 full minutes, breathing noticeably heavier than normal. You should still be able to speak, but holding conversation should become genuinely difficult. Then slow down for the next 3 minutes, allowing your breathing to fully recover. Repeat this pattern, 3 minutes brisk, 3 minutes moderate, continuing for roughly 5 rounds. Finish with an easy cool down, letting your heart rate gradually return to normal. The beauty of this method is you never actually have to run anywhere today. No sprinting, no collapsing. You're simply manipulating intensity within something you already know completely. During brisk intervals, your heart rate and oxygen demand increase significantly within just seconds. During easier intervals, you recover enough to comfortably push the pace again shortly afterward. Think of it like ocean waves. Push forward, recover fully. Push forward, recover again. You can adjust speed based on your personal fitness level. There's genuinely no wrong way.
For beginners, brisk simply means walking noticeably faster than your normal, comfortable, everyday pace. For fitter individuals, brisk might involve a steeper hill or considerably faster walking pace. The goal isn't chasing one perfect speed, it's creating clear differences between intervals consistently. But why exactly does alternating speeds make such a meaningful physiological difference in results? Because your body constantly gets asked to adjust throughout the entire walking session repeatedly. During brisk minutes, your muscles suddenly demand significantly more energy than before immediately again. Your heart rate rises, breathing quickens, muscles need more oxygen delivered quickly throughout. Then you slow down, demand drops, breathing begins recovering, heart rate gradually comes down. But before fully settling into comfort, you speed back up again, restarting the cycle. That repeated intensity change creates a completely different training stimulus than steady, unchanging pace. Research on interval walking shows real improvements in aerobic fitness and overall leg strength. That's what makes this technique so genuinely practical for busy people seeking real results. You get periods of higher cardiovascular demand without needing to turn walking into running. But don't mistake harder intervals for automatically melting away more stubborn belly fat instantly. Interval walking still works within the exact same fundamental fat loss equation as always. Your diet, total activity, energy balance, and consistency remain absolutely essential throughout this process. Its real advantage is making a short walking session feel more challenging yet accessible. Imagine two 30-minute walks. One stays relaxed, the other repeatedly demands more effort.
Same basic activity, completely different training stimulus, completely different results over extended time periods. Before trying this, there are 3 tiny adjustments making brisk intervals feel dramatically better. How you use your glutes, swing your arms, and hold your posture matter tremendously. Let's fix all 3 right now, starting with something that begins directly behind you. Use your glutes actively, every time your back foot pushes firmly against solid ground. Think about driving your body forward naturally instead of simply shuffling your feet along. Your glutes are among the largest muscles in your entire body, incredibly powerful naturally. A purposeful stride helps involve your hips and legs far more effectively during walking. Don't exaggerate it though. You shouldn't aggressively squeeze your glutes with every single step. Natural, powerful movement remains the genuine goal here, not forced, awkward, exaggerated squeezing motions. Second, actively use your arms during brisk intervals, bending elbows comfortably while swinging naturally. Watch what happens. Your rhythm increases, your stride becomes noticeably more athletic almost instantly. Suddenly, you're moving faster without needing to break into an actual uncomfortable run. Finally, and this is where many people get genuinely sloppy without even realizing it, fix your posture completely. Head up, looking forward, shoulders relaxed rather than rounded forward. Maintain a tall torso, letting your core stay naturally engaged throughout the entire walk. Compare that with staring down at your phone, shoulders collapsed, feet barely leaving ground. Same basic activity, completely different movement quality, completely different results over time, honestly speaking. Now, combine everything together. Purposeful stride, natural glute involvement, active arms, consistently tall posture. Then alternate brisk, moderate, brisk, moderate. You've officially created structured training without complicated equipment. Remember though, none of these tricks magically target belly fat specifically on their own. They simply make walking more purposeful, genuinely challenging, and realistically repeatable for the long term. Now we have everything needed. Baseline, morning walks, mini walks, intervals, and proper technique combined. Let's combine all of it into one simple weekly walking system you can genuinely follow. You don't need 40,000 steps, hours of cardio, or complicated fat-burning protocols today. You need a genuinely repeatable system, something sustainable enough to follow for actual months. First, find your baseline. Check average daily steps and gradually build upward from there. If you currently average 5,000 steps, don't force 15,000 starting tomorrow morning suddenly. Build a new normal gradually, giving your body and habits time to genuinely adjust. Second, if it fits your lifestyle, use some steps for a morning walk beforehand. Remember, fasted walking isn't magic. The real advantage is consistent timing you can maintain. Third, add 10 to 15-minute walks after meals whenever practically possible throughout your day. Fourth, a few times weekly, turn an ordinary walk into Japanese interval walking training instead. 3 minutes brisk, 3 minutes moderate, repeat for roughly 5 rounds with proper warm-up. While walking, stand tall, use your arms actively, and take genuinely purposeful, confident strides forward. But here's the single most important part of this entire walking strategy. Remember it always. Walking alone cannot outsmart your overall energy balance, no matter how perfectly you execute it. If fat loss is your goal, nutrition still matters enormously. Protein intake matters significantly too. Total calorie intake matters, resistance training matters, sleep and recovery genuinely matter throughout everything.
Walking simply gives you something incredibly valuable, a sustainable way to increase daily activity, without turning every single day into another exhausting, unsustainable, dreaded workout you eventually abandon completely. So remember these 2 techniques clearly. Change when you walk and change how you walk. But don't obsess over finding some perfect, magical, fat-burning trick that doesn't actually exist. Because the best walking strategy isn't the one looking impressive for just 7 days straight. It's the one you're still doing months from now, when real transformation finally becomes visible.